Hi there, and welcome back to another Outer Worlds gameplay video. In this video, we shall be continuing our exploration of Edgewater, including the first quest to obtain a companion. We shall also finish off the bounties that Reyes gave us in the last video. And the reason I'm going to recruit a companion first is because those bounties are quite tough as a solo player, and having a companion is very, very helpful. So, let's get into this video. What I have found so far is that exploring Edgewater is quite comprehensive, and after this video has been filmed, I will continue to play the game off camera to develop the story and to develop the character further, and will produce periodic videos to highlight various elements of gameplay. As you can see with Constable Reyes, we are in the Constable's office, and the first thing I want to do is just do a reminder of where we are with the quests. With the main quest, we're still having to look for Tobson, who's in charge of Edgewater. We need to speak to Reed again with regards to the Die Robot quest. Fistful of Digits. As you can see, I've collected and turned in Bernie Cotton's finger, but still need to collect Guillaume Antrim's finger and Doc Maybell's finger. And I have to retrieve the cache of medicine from the community centre. So, let's head on back out.
Wish we had some better rations.
Yes, I'm sure you do. We have some better rations. We now need to find the tower that Mr. Tobson is in. So let's first of all highlight that quest. And if we highlight the quest, you'll see that Mr. Tobson is in this building here. So let's go and have a chat. We head up into the lift. And the music changes to suggest a change of scenery. Lift music.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
I'm Reed Tobson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
No, that's because I don't work.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Uh-huh. My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we've got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Tobson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Let's hear it.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Yeah, there's got to be a catch. When you say most...
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
What a surprise. I never would have guessed.
I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Yeah, you call them deserters. I call them people who've seen the light and have tried to get out from under the yoke of this oppressive company. Let's see why he needs them back.
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years.
There you go.
If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
Let's see. I've seen Edgewater. I don't blame those workers for walking out.
Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
It's never going to be as simple as that.
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. I am asking you to help us survive. Edgewater needs more workers or we will collapse. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. All right, I'll see what I can
My
do to
dad
help
told
you.
me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful.
Parvati.
I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Tobson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Okay. Yes, let's take
Great.
Parvati along.
I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get going. Now, companions. I've gained a companion. They are characters that join you in your adventures and help in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support, which I will need for the bounties. Their skills enhance your skills. Yep. They increase your carrying capacity. You can unlock special companion skill abilities with the Inspiration skill. Learn more about your companion in the Companion Ledger. So, there's Parvati. Let's have a look at the Companion Ledger. Right, so the Companion Ledger shows you everything you need to know about your companions. You can see their skills, stats, status effects, and gear. To change your companion's gear, first select the item you want to swap out, then choose a compatible item to replace it with. You can also change how they behave in combat by selecting their preferred weapon, follow distance, and aggressiveness. Right, looks okay. So Parvati is at the moment using a 120 light pistol and an impact hammer for her melee weapon. That's 120 light pistol. If there's any, see, that's 120 DPS handgun. It's got a modification as well. I'm not sure what the range on these things are, but I would have thought the pistol has got a longer range than a sawn-off shotgun. Light assault rifle. Let's put that in there instead. Give her that to play with. Now, I don't think I've got anything that can improve the impact hammer, which is 131 DPS in melee. No. Armour. She is wearing the Mechanics Overalls Junior Grade Armour 7, and I've only got the rebuilt mining gear and the laboratory outfit as options to replace. No perk points available yet. Now, here's her behaviours. Medium distance will follow at a moderate distance. Mixed weapons will switch between melee and ranged weapons based on their distance to the enemy. And aggressive will always engage an attack when the player enters combat. Very useful. I need to find her a helmet and some better armour when I can. Presuming that star is a little bit about the companions. Yep. And then the companion ledger, which we've looked at. Okay, so we will head off. Parvati has now joined the party. Parvati Holcomb.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
Yeah, we can talk.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just... Mr. Tobson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
This is about the deserters, so what's the other side of it?
To Mr. Tobson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
I can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's
Life's
got
hard
issues.
here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Tobson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Yeah. I don't feel like depriving them of
Thanks,
their
mister.
defences.
I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it.
Yeah,
That's what
sure
my
is.
dad used to say anyways.
Is there anything else she wants to say?
Huh?
I noticed you mentioning your dad a lot, but never your mother.
That's on account of how I never met her.
You mean she's dead?
I don't rightly know. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here.
You see, that is the ultimate in a corporation owning you. That they actually have rights on you from the moment you're conceived. Is that
I don't know about normal. Dad said she worked under some kind of special contract. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
kind of getting the impression we might come across her mother later in the game. Okay, let's go and see Max. Let's go and see Max. Hold on a minute, give me bearings. That was the lift. Is there anything in here to have a look at? See if there's any items to beg, steal, or borrow. One outside. Okay, so which one's Max? But Vicar Max, let's go and see him then. He's in that... Well, it's an observatory, isn't it? An old observatory, but looks like an old church of some sort. So let's go and see him.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Mr. Max.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
Parvati wanted to talk to you about what Reed asked us to do.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Tobson asked you to do?
He's asked me to cut off the power to Adelaide's deserters.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife.
Two people that said
I can
that.
see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
So, what do you think of Adelaide's group?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons.
That sounds sarcastic.
Does that strike you as a responsible life choice? Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
just took everybody into coming together. Is that even possible?
Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
I wasn't assuming it would be safe.
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls.
Yeah, in a cave.
My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Better do, mate.
It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious?
Let's find out why a vicar would be after a banned heretical book.
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
Yeah. I need to know a little bit more about this book before I agree to this.
It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it.
I'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Okay, let's have a look what we do for level 4. 10 points available. Well, as I have now got a companion, I think for this round of points, I need to do something about my leadership. If I get the leadership up to 20, novice, inspiration, a companion can do special attacks, and number 20, determination, the inhaler heals you and your companions, but they get 30% of the healing effect. That could be useful, so let's put 5 into there. Yeah, we'll put 5 into there. I think I'll put 2 into stealth to bring those up to 25. 2 more into dialogue to bring those up to 25. And we'll have 1 in defense to get off the 13. Apply those. Oh, we've unlocked a dialogue combat skill when attacking the correct half target. Okay. Companion abilities. You can command companions to use their special abilities on the enemy you are targeting. Companion 1 ability, Companion 2 ability. Okay, let's have a look at the perks. Right, what's that one? 50% base health. I always think that's useful. 25% damage when alone in party. Well, now I've got companion, I'll avoid those for now. Walk speed, sprint speed, weapon armor durability loss. 25%. I think I'll take that actually. Because finding parts to upgrade these has been a bit... yeah. Okay. Now, down in that left-hand corner, you can see that I've got the special ability highlighted now, which wasn't there before. So, let's just remind ourselves of quests. Yeah, let's go and do the digits. Okay. 458 meters, 500. They're a fair way away, aren't they, still? Let's go and see. I should say that I've done these quests on my Xbox game, and they are significantly easier to do with a companion than the first one I did without a companion. Here we go, look, let's sneak.
Okay, gone quiet.
Oh, yes! Good old Parvati.
Everyone all right?
Ah, that was a cracking one, that was. That's special ability. I'm liking Parvati. I'm liking her a lot. Everyone is most definitely alright from our point of view, Parvati, but not from theirs. Let's see what else is in here. Armour parts, weapon parts, pistol bits. See, that's the other thing to do, is when you come across a little encampment like this, ransack it. Okay. So her special ability is now recharged. There are ferals out here which can be very, very challenging at times. So I think as I get closer to the enemy, it probably makes sense to save the game. I have noticed as well, these lines on the road, what are they? Are they just conduits? What do we have here? Deceased marauders. Right, okay. That's Guillaume Antrim. And there's another deceased, there's another marauder.
Let's go.
I'll have to be a bit more careful this time. Holy poo 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 poo. Start that one again.
I don't know anybody who ever came out this far. Attacking! Attack! Attack! I don't know anybody who ever came out this far. Here goes nothing!
How many Guillaume Antrims were there? Who's this delightful person then? Zoe Chandler.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways.
Not for free, missus.
Oh, well that's a shame. I mean, I could pay you in Adrena time, but I've already bartered most of my stash over to these poor saps. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. I'm great at clarifying.
How are you even alive?
I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma.
Indeed.
I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but yeah, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit.
So she's not a prisoner. Are you from Edgewater?
I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find? But a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse. I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them.
What's that there? I know what we're doing now. Let's also put something into the care. 6 adrenos. Let's put that in there. I think with those inhaler squares, when you use the inhaler, you actually use what's in each of the slots to get the bennets from them. What are they? Terror raid. How many have I killed off there? Just the 2? No, 3. Interesting creatures. Maybell. Maybell's finger. I've got to turn her finger in now as an option. See, that was much easier with that gun. Marauder hideout. So, we now have the fingers for all of those people. So it's time. So we've got the fistful of digits. We've got to turn them all in now. I see we've probably got to clear out the community centre.
Huh?
What?
Here they come!
Okay, we had a minor hiccup because my disc ran out of recording space. But whilst I've been sorting that out, I've gone into the community centre, taken out all the enemies in the community centre, and have picked up the medical supplies for Abernathy. So the only really outstanding thing left to do out here is to go and find the Vicar's book. And once we've found the Vicar's book, we can head back, hand in those quests. Are we still highlighting the book on the map? Yep, collector's domicile. Let's go in here.
That was quick.
There's the journal. Bracelet bit cartridge. What is it? Mag picks. I think that's the hideout cleared out, isn't it? Yep. Okay. What's that? Max. Yeah, that's teleport, that's fast travel back. You cannot fast travel while they're hostile, so what hostile am I near? Oh, those. No.
Here we go! Here I go! Oh! Nice one!
You still went down too easy there, Parvati. Far too easily. Let's go on hand-in quest. Let's go see Vicar first.
Outside the walls today.
Any progress on that matter we discussed?
Yep.
Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the f*** is this? Is this French? I can't read French.
Well, you should be able to.
It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn. Well, yes. But I assure you, it was not for personal gain, only for the greater good. I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so
You may well do if you
desperate,
can
I
understand
even got
French.
myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the time and suffering I've spent. Wasted. Yes, you're right. Such are the workings of the equation. And I've only my own hubris to blame. I certainly never planned for this contingency. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport. You have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew.
Let's find out what's in it for us.
Free spiritual counseling,
Don't want
someone
that.
to watch your back.
Maybe.
Not to mention a grown-up in the party.
I'm 28.
Exactly. I'm pretty handy with a toss-ball stick, or any blunt instrument, really. I'm also a passable gun hand, if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well. Well, understanding computers is, though I admit I took it further than most. And I was quite the 32nd back during my seminary days. Left many an opponent bleeding on the field. Of course, I'm a vicar who is dedicated to his calling. More dedicated than any other you'll find in this colony. I joined the OSI to help decipher the grand plan. But instead, I ended up the vicar in a prison due to ignorance and politics. Then I came here. Satisfied? Most laypeople are not aware of this, but we've not discovered any new insights into the plan for a long, long time. I had an idea that we should welcome the truth, no matter where we found it. I had the worse idea to share my thoughts with a superior. And that's the long and short of it. So, what do you think? It's the journal of one of the originators of the Philosopher's School of Thought, though it would be more than a century before it was perverted into that belief system. Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan.
Yeah, religion again.
But most of that came later. Bakonu had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan.
Okay.
Fantastic. Let me get my things in order and I'll catch up with you.
Edgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say about their vicar.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scenery, and to leave this place behind. I shall see you on the ship, Captain, whenever you're ready to leave Emerald Vale.
So, a new companion has been recruited. But not yet. I guess we've got to leave Vale We need the power regulator for that, don't we? Let us go and hand in those fingers. Where's the constable's office? This is the lady who wanted the medicine. I'm going to give it to her instead of him because he is just a junkie. Whereas you'll see from her, she's got other plans for using that medicine, so I shall give it to her. I mean, I know I'm not being much of an a-hole at the moment, but I want to try and make as many friends as possible at this stage.
Somebody's been running around town raving about a colony ship. Plague must have gone into their brain matter.
That's me, you fool.
Thanks. I'll see to it that this medicine gets to the people who need it. Here, something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but I hope we never do business together again. Don't want to make a habit of consorting with smuggler types. And there it is. The reason I don't like depending on a criminal. I kept a little contingency fee in case you decided to shake me down. Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Anybody in the sick room? Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
Okay. Fistful of... Oh, yes. Turn in the fistful of digits. Where's... Oh, there's the constable's office. Turn in the digits and then that's it for this video.
I've never actually been in here.
Vale's a little safer, thanks to you. We pay by the finger. What do you have for me?
Guillaume?
Guillaume Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice.
That's us.
I remember him. Was just a kid last I saw him. Shame. Still one outstanding bounty. If you've got a finger, I've got the paperwork.
Yeah, I've got...
Mabel Burgess. Age 37. Right or left-handed? Let's just say, no longer applicable. I remember Doc Burgess. Conducted my physical every fiscal quarter. Guess she couldn't keep her hands off her patient's medicine. Well, that's all three. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint to ink. Here's all the compensation you've earned, plus a bonus.
Oh, Junior Deputy Constable's badge.
You've done such a bang-up job hunting down our former workers that I thought it only proper to deputize you. Congratulations. Let me stop you there. It is official Spacer's Choice policy that all Marauders, regardless of prior affiliation to the Spacer's Choice brand, no longer qualify as our people. Marauders are folk who lost the will to keep working, wandered out into the wilds and gave into their baser instincts. Not everyone's cut out to work in Edgewater. Some turn deserter, some turn marauder. None of them get my sympathy. Uh-huh. I recall young Eugene. Good kid. Nice smile. Fussy about his health, though. Took a little too much adrenatime. That'll do a number on your brain matter. Says so right on the warning label. Violent psychosis is a well-documented and legally accounted for side effect of adrenatime. What's on your mind?
Okay. One more level up, and then we'll call it quits for this video. Let's put 3 in melee, bring us up to the 20 bonus, which is power and sweep attacks. Power and sweep attacks. We'll put 3 in ranged. 1, 2, 3. That gives us TTD location hit effects, TTD location hit effects. That's 4 more left to spend. Where should we put those? I think we put those in companion damage, don't you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's another 3% companion damage bonus, or 2.5%, which is fine. Excellent. You've unlocked location fit effects detector. Hitting enemies in different locations during TTD Maims or cripples those body parts. Try different locations. Okay, I'll try that. Melee power attacks. You hold the attack button. Fine. What perk? Right, another perk. Oh, I didn't get that floor, did I, last time? Because I think... Yeah, let's have some more carrying capacity. Look at our reputation with space. You see, these primary ones, we've not come across any of these yet, so there's still lots to find. But Spacer's Choice, we're doing alright. Okay, I'm going to call a halt to the video at this point and say thank you again for watching. I hope you found that exploration of Edgewater interesting and entertaining. If you have and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel, press the like button on the video, and hit the bell for notifications of future output from the Captain Frandad gaming channel. If you could also share this video, it would really help, because it would help the algorithm to pick up the video and recommend it to more people. Any help you could give on growing this channel would be greatly appreciated. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Captain Frandad, signing out.